Hello YouTube and welcome to another video and welcome to my channel, The Art of Perfumery. Today I'm going to bring you the review of this amazing fragrance from the house of Bait al-Bakhoor. I'm talking about Khashab al Oud. This fragrance that only cost me 13 euro, believe it or not, in Notino. And the question is, can a 13 euro fragrance be any good? That's what I'm going to talk about now. And before you just jump in Notino and blind buying this fragrance, because it only cost me 13 euro, you probably find it for 12 euro in a bit now. I'm going to post a link down in the description. This is a very nice fragrance with an amazing presentation. The presentation of this fragrance is actually on the amazing side. The bottle, as you can see, it's very heavy. It's very well built. As you can see, the cap is also very heavy. It's actually plastic. It's not metal, but it looks like metal. It's engraved as well. It's actually a very nice presentation. Okay, that is as far as the presentation goes. Now we're going to talk a bit more about Khashab al Oud from the house of Bait al-Bakhoor. And we go now to the notes breakdown. At the top we have woodsy notes and also powdery notes. In the middle we have oud, sweet notes, musk. And at the base we have spicy notes and also amber. Just another curiosity about this fragrance. Here in Europe this fragrance comes under the brand of, like I said, Bait al-Bakhoor. But you probably heard something about this fragrance, or you did a research about this fragrance and found this fragrance under the brand Afnan. There's nothing to worry about because they are actually the same brand. They actually, the house of Bait al-Bakhoor produces fragrances for Afnan. So this is, let's say, manufactured by a subsidiary of Afnan. So no worries that whatever fragrance you heard about with the brand Afnan, we're talking about the same fragrance under the brand of Bait al-Bakhoor. And as you go along with the review of this fragrance, if you thinking of blind buying this fragrance, I just want to say something to you. My advice is don't do it, because this fragrance is very polarizing. You either like this fragrance or you hate this fragrance. I haven't seen a lot of people that are in the middle in relation to this fragrance, because this is a very polarizing fragrance. So before you blind buy, I strongly recommend you to watch this review from the beginning to the end, so we know a bit more about this fragrance. The good thing about this fragrance, is the price point. So if you blind buy this fragrance and you don't like it, it only costs a bit less than 13 euros, so it's not going to break your bank. So there is this positive side about this fragrance, is the price. Particularly, I think this juice is amazing. Let's talk about the juice now. I'm going to give it a quick spray. The sprayer is very good. Very polarizing indeed. I love it, by the way. Okay, the fragrance opens slightly sweet. It's not very sweet. It's not on the sweet side, but there is some sweetness in this opening. Slightly fresh and very medicinal and incensey. There's a lot of medicinal oud and a lot of incense in this fragrance. That's why it's not a safe blind buy, because there's a lot of this oud, which is on the medicinal side, and a lot of incense as well in this fragrance. It's not super medicinal, but for some that would be a bit too much, a bit overwhelming. And this oud, as the time goes by, it will start to get a bit more powdery, because it mixes very well with these powdery notes, and it's always surrounded by incense. This is a very incensey fragrance, and also the fragrance is going to become very musky as well. There is a ton of musk in this fragrance. You actually have to like incense, oud, and musk to like this fragrance, because it's very noticeable, them three notes. But the musk in this fragrance is not very animalic. It's not on the animalic side. 5 minutes after the application, all the notes has already settled down. The fragrance calms down a little bit, so you lose a bit of that medicinal vibe of the oud. It will last throughout the life of the fragrance, but you lose a bit of that. And the fragrance will start to get a bit more linear after this 5 minutes. The only big change that's going to happen with this fragrance after the 5 minutes, I would say, is going to get woodier with time. This will be very, very woodsy in the dry down. And once you lose all of this freshness, this effervescence from the moment you apply this fragrance, after this 5 minutes, the fragrance will become linear after a while. And what you're gonna be left with would be this medicinal oud, this combo oud and incense, which is very medicinal. The oud, like I said here, it's on the medicinal side, and also very woodsy, always surrounded by this aura of incense as well. The amber of this fragrance, it has a bit of amber, brings some creaminess to the composition, which is very welcome as well, because it breaks down a bit of that medicinal vibe of the oud. And also the fragrance has lots, like I said, lots of musk. Not on the animalic side, not on the skunky side. The musk in this fragrance, it's kind of salty, and it's going to remind you the smell of a skin. Actually, it's a skin-like smell. Imagine your skin warm after practicing some exercise in a sunny day. This is the smell of the musk in this fragrance. It's really nice and has this kind of like sweaty skin smell. Like, talking about the spices of this fragrance, it has the spicy notes. The main spice, the spice that actually jumps out of my skin, is without a doubt the saffron. The saffron of this fragrance is very prominent. You're gonna get the saffron, you know, from the moment you spray up to the end of the life of this fragrance. And this combo, oud and saffron, is gonna bring this typical Middle Eastern smell to this fragrance. So that's another reason that this fragrance is not a safe blind buy, because nowadays a lot of these Middle Eastern fragrances, they are very Western. This is a typical Middle Eastern fragrance with all of that kind of Middle Eastern smell and all of that good stuff. So the best way to describe this fragrance, I would say, this is, think of a dry log, a dry piece of wood that is being drying under the sun, under the heat. So you get that with a medicinal vibe, with an incensey, slightly sweet vibe with this fragrance as well, with a spicy vibe, with a lot of saffron, a lot of this very sexy musk that surrounds this fragrance and brings this kind of like ambergris-like aspect to it. The musk of this fragrance is very like the ambergris. Whatever facet ambergris has, you get with the musk of this fragrance. So if you combine all the information together, you have Khashab al Oud. Talking now about the performance of this fragrance, I'd say fortunately, the performance of this fragrance is not very loud. It's not a fragrance that's gonna jump out of your skin. It's not a room filler, which in my opinion is very good, because with all of this medicinal vibe, I wouldn't like a fragrance with that kind of smell to jump out of my skin, because I believe that would be a little bit aggressive as well. So the fragrance actually has the perfect projection. It has a very good sillage. Wherever you go, you leave a track with this fragrance. People will smell this fragrance on you. And this fragrance actually will stay on your skin for around 8 o'clock, so for around 8 hours. So I'm going to talk more about the performance when I bring this fragrance to the ratings. And okay guys, as you can see, for all of the reasons I mentioned before, this is not a safe blind buy. If you don't like this medicinal, typical Middle Eastern vibe in fragrances, this is not a fragrance for you. If you're like me, you dig this, you like Middle Eastern fragrances, you like this typical vibe, spicy, medicinal, woody. So this is a fragrance for you. There's no way to go wrong if you like this fragrance, especially with this fragrance costing around 13 euros. Okay, that was my review. Now let's take Khashab al Oud to the ratings. And we are now down to the ratings of Khashab al Oud from the house of Bait al Bakhoor. We start with the presentation. I just want to make sure you understood that this fragrance costs $12.50. And look at the presentation of this fragrance. There's not much you can do for this sort of money. This presentation is actually amazing for the price you pay for this fragrance. That's the reason alone I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 for this presentation. Of course, they could have done a metal cap, but come on, like, it's $12.50. So it's a perfect presentation. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. It will look amazing in your display. We go now for versatility. We go for weather versatility. This is not very versatile fragrance. It's very heavy with these heavy notes, oud, woods, also saffron. So this is definitely for fall and also winter. Versatility, I'd say now for occasions. What's the occasion? This is again not versatile for occasion. It's a very sober fragrance. So I wear this fragrance a lot for work, because whatever I want to enhance my sober side, my serious side, I wear this fragrance. and it goes very well for this type of situations. I wear this a lot for work. I wouldn't wear this for a date, especially because it's a bit on the extravagant side, you know, like I'd say your partner has to know this first, so you be on the safe side if she or he likes this fragrance. So I wouldn't wear this fragrance for clubbing, because I don't think that's loud enough for that. So I wear this for work. You know, this is how I wear this fragrance most of the times, and it's lovely like that. We can offer performance. The fragrance projects on my skin for about 2 hours, and the longevity of this fragrance is actually not too bad, is 8 hours. So there you go. That is my review of Khashab al Oud. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoy what you saw, please don't forget to leave your like. Don't forget to subscribe to get notified for more videos. And please don't forget that I'm Mark Lacerda, and I see you in the next video.